How's it going, everyone? It's a new week and a batch of new PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 game releases. Definitely one game that I think has quite a bit of attention surrounding it, coming from Supermassive Games, of course, but there's a couple of other games that are definitely worthwhile to mention as well. We've got 6 games to go over, so let's get right into it, and let's start things off with the Quarry. Now, this is, of course, coming from Supermassive Games. Most of you probably know them for their work on Until Dawn back in 2014, but they've also worked on the Dark Pictures anthology. They specialize in these narrative-driven games, and The Quarry is definitely something that gives me some callback to Until Dawn and what we got out of that game. I would expect a little bit of cheesiness, but at the same time, I think the game is shaping up to be pretty good. The game notes, when the sun goes down on the last night of summer camp, 9 teenage counselors are plunged into an unpredictable night of horror. The only thing worse than the blood-drenched locals and creatures hunting them are the unimaginable choices you must make to help them survive. Of course, this is a choice-driven game, and what's interesting about this one is you do have a cooperative aspect added to the game as well, which I think is super interesting, and I think it was a good idea that they did that as well. On top of that, they are going to let you customize the experience so it's tailored exactly for you, adjustable difficulty for all gameplay elements, let players of any skill level enjoy the horror, and if you prefer to watch rather than play, movie mode lets you enjoy The Quarry as a binge-worthy cinematic thriller. Select how you want the story to unfold, kick back, and munch on some popcorn in between all the screams. Of course, whenever I play a game like this, I just go into it and let it rip. I don't really look anything up and just enjoy whatever route I go with. Place your faith in up to 7 friends in online play, where invited players watch along and vote on key decisions, creating a story shaped by the whole group, or play together in a party horror couch co-op experience where each player picks a counselor and controls their actions. And I've always mentioned how when I talk about these narrative-driven titles, how you can, even if they're single player, you get a group together and you can all enjoy the experience together. Well, The Quarry is taking that one step and further and really integrating that into a game, so I'm happy that they're doing that, and I really think that could be a quality element included in the game. The Quarry is due for a release this week on June 10th. Next up, for you JRPG fans, you'll want to have your attention on Metal Mag Xeno Reborn. A pretty gritty game here. Metal Mag Xeno Reborn is an action JRPG with real-time battle and vehicle combat elements. Join Talus, a lone hunter, and search for allies in a vengeance-charged war against monsters and robotic enemies. Learn new skills and collect and customize tanks as you journey through a devastated world. Now, let's not get it twisted. If you look at this game from a visual standpoint, it's definitely not something to write home about, but that's definitely not why you're getting into Metal Max. You're getting into it for the setting, the story, and the gameplay. Set in a devastated world called Dystopia, Metal Mag Xeno Reborn is a non-linear open-world JRPG with real-time battle and vehicle combat elements. Take control of Talus and search for the other survivors who wish to fight back against the machines of Noah. There are no limits to where you can go, no matter your progression in the game. Unite to survive. The fate of the universe is in your hand. Hunt down your enemies with the helping hand from loved characters and your beloved battle dog. You've got a varied cast of characters in there as well. Metal Mag Xeno Reborn is due to drop on June 10th as well. Next up, we have Spellforce 3 Reforced. Now, this is finally getting its PlayStation release. It's been announced for a little bit, saw a couple delays, but now it'll finally be dropping this week. And it'll be coming in a variety of different versions. You have the complete bundle that'll include the DLC as well, or you can buy the base game. Spellforce 3 is the perfect blend between RTS and RPG. It is the year 518. The rebellion of the renegade mages, known as the Mage Wars, has been quashed by the crown. However, it was a Pyrrhic victory. Whole regions have fallen into anarchy. Refugees roam from the lands in search of shelter, and a mysterious deadly plague called the Bloodburn has arisen and is spreading rapidly. In times like this, people cling to any sign of hope that they can find. The Purity of Light, led by a charismatic man, claims that mages are the source of all the misfortune, and that the only coming, the father of all gods, will return Io to its former splendor. Now, this is a game that again dropped on PC quite a while ago, back in 2017. Saw mostly positive reception with 4,500 user reviews. 74% of those reviews were positive, so you know, RTSs aren't really up my alley, as you guys might know, but I'm sure a lot of you guys are into it. It does note a north of 30-hour campaign as well, so that's something to get into. And on top of that, with the Reforced edition, you'll get improved real-time strategy mechanics and reworked real-time strategy faction designs introduced in the 2 expansions, reworked skill trees, improved quests, improved co-op mode, improved loot distribution, improved balancing, complete rework of the hub. All campaign and quest logic issues are fixed on top of that. Now, as far as pricing goes, the base base game is $39.99, and on top of that, you'll be able to purchase the expansion Soul Harvest and Fallen God for $19.99 a pop, but there will be a complete edition of the game featuring both expansions, and that'll be available for $60. If you're looking to get into it with the DLC and the expansions, that's probably the route to go and to pick up the complete edition. Again, Spellforce 3 Reforced is due out on June 7th. Next up, we have Super Impossible Road, which first launched for Apple Arcade in September of 2019. Now it'll be hitting PlayStation 5. Now, this is a pretty interesting game, and by the way, on next-generation platforms, you will get some improved features, real-time shadows, reflections, and volumetric lighting, and the game will be running at 120 frames per second. So, yeah, quite a high frame rate there. Key features of the game: note, race online with up to 8 players at once, career mode featuring dozens of challenging levels and a multitude of modes. Procedural generation creates a new track every time, robust single-player campaign and modes with leaderboards. The game is noted to be the spiritual successor to the award-winning Impossible Road, is back and more ferocious than ever with all new modes, insane online play, and plenty more. The game is due out for a release on June 8th. Next up, we have a throwback title here. We have Square Keeper. Square Keeper is a puzzle game based on a card system where each card gives the player the possibility to execute different actions like a sword swing shooting with a bow or simply just walking. Honestly, pretty cool how we're implementing card-based mechanics into different games. Again, a puzzle game based on a card system. The protagonist is trapped in a dungeon with many rooms filled with different enemies and traps. To escape, you have to be able to analyze your options correctly and defeat the enemies so that the room's gates open. There's many rooms waiting to be discovered and solved. Play your cards well. Play through more than 40 little dungeons. A new way to enter dungeons. Use the cards to complete levels. Swords, bows, and spears. You'll need all of them to meet the challenge. Each movement is important to escape from the dungeons. Square Keeper is due out for a release on June 9th. And lastly, we have Tour de France 2022. Fight for the yellow jersey in the official game of the Tour de France 2022. Experience the new online mode with weekly challenges and leaderboards. In solo mode, you can now deal with incidents, injuries, illnesses during the 92 stages that are available. Again, a new online mode with leaderboards, race incidents, new preparation system, new interface on cobbled sections, more intense races with a more aggressive peloton, and more collaborative breakaways. All 21 official stages of the Tour de France 2022. New Primavera inspired by a major Italian race, and 3 new teams included as well. Tour de France 2022 is scheduled for a release on June 9th. And that's going to do it for me. Again, as far as quantity of games coming out this week, definitely on the lighter side. However, you know, with a lot of events going on, a lighter slew of games is probably going to do it pretty well. I think a lot of people are excited for the Quarry, and hopefully that does turn out well. Metal Mag Xeno Reborn for you JRPG fans, Spellforce 3 Reforce if you're looking for a strategy game, and a couple of other lower key titles rounding things out. That's going to do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.